Part 3. Congratulations, you've made it. Our internal reality is real and valid to our own experience. That's why when others less mature seek to deny, debunk, or minimize our version of reality, it can be very difficult to not become defensive. Because let's face it, the truth is always somewhere in the middle. Both people usually have a degree of truth in the matter, especially when it comes to disagreements. All our life is our reality. Now, think of something upsetting. Take note of any emotions, visuals, auditory, or internal, and tune in and see if you have any physical location to these things. Do you feel a certain feeling in your chest? Is there something going on in the head? Is there something that's going on in your gut? People may have these feelings that come and go, and it could even move. If it's visual, try changing it. Is it in color? If so, then just make it black and white. Is the visuals big? Then zoom out until it's really small or small enough that it seems or feels more comfortable. Is there any noise to these emotions, to these images, to these feelings that you may have? Is there any mental chatter? If so, then change the tone, pitch, tempo. Maybe even make it sound like Goofy or Mickey Mouse, or even a clown. And take note how you feel as you change the different modalities that you're experiencing. Again, every visual that you experience with an emotion is something that if you consciously go in and try to alter at least the same principles that have come up, whether it's the feeling associated with the memory or emotion, or if it's the visual, physical, whatever that may be, try and modify it and see what happens. Notice what changes. My point here is that rather than experiencing your emotions as is, change them, play with them, shape them, and your brain will go along, because your brain is very much like a TV. So don't forget that you have the remote now, and you can take total creative control and impact how you feel and experience all emotions and memories. Because let's face it, if you don't start finding things in your life to help you better manage your emotions, things like marijuana will take the forefront. It'll be something that you go to because you don't have another tool in your toolbox to overcome this perceived stressor or conflict in your life. It's far easier to escape our problems than it is to face it, because most people in general will do way more to avoid uncomfortability than they would ever do to find joy. So even though you may know you need to work out to feel better, it's a lot easier to just light a joint. Even if you understand that taking your trash out to the dumpster is actually something that would be good for you on an exercise way, a lot of people opt to just take it and put it in their car and drive it down instead. There's plenty of things we all know that we could be doing differently. But if we can't change the feeling that we have with actually doing those things, relapsing and actually not conquering our goals is a frequent theme that we'll encounter. Because at the end of the day, emotions kind of rule everything in your life. Sure, there's other factors and principles to life that can help you get through certain things. But if you don't feel like you can do something, it takes a lot of willpower, courage, and structuring yourself to do something that you don't feel like you can do. Now, if you were to say that you have a confident area in your life that you feel that you're really good at, let's say it's art or poetry or yoga or fitness. I don't know what that is for you, but if there's something that you feel that you're actually really good at, it's far easier for you to do those things and maintain doing those things in your life than it would be for something that you don't feel that you're that good at or that you would be capable of being good at. Because everybody starts off on the same page. I mean, even though you may be good at art at some level, For someone like me that maybe doesn't have a lot of artistic background, me starting up at first wouldn't necessarily be at the same level that you're at. But over time, if I have the feeling of confidence or the ability that I can continue down this path, that's where somebody can go from stick figures to a Picasso eventually. So what you do repeatedly in life is often what you become. It's a great saying, and I forget who says it in particular, but that's very true when it comes to life. So if you really want to change the trajectory of where your life is going, you're going to have to start changing the way that you run your life. And rather than experiencing the emotions that come up and have that become who you are, a stressed out, anxious, depressed person that's always worried about relapsing again, maybe start changing the dynamic, the inner voice, the images, the feelings that are going on in your own experience, and let that be the driving force. Let those positive, more optimistic and resourceful states start to become what motivates you to move forward. Because all of us do far better in life when we feel like we're accomplishing something and we're doing well at it. So by taking creative control over your emotions, this is just one way that you can vastly change the trajectory of your life. For me personally, I used to work a 9-to-5 job. I was a blue-collar person and I didn't really enjoy those types of things. Granted, I'm very thankful that we have men in society and women in society that do those things, because we obviously need lights and things in our environment that are accessible. And because of those individuals, we're able to still enjoy those things. But for me personally, I didn't feel like I wanted to do that for the next 50 years. So now here I am, since 2018, really enjoying what I do. This is what I love, and now I'm bringing that online. And when I first started, to be honest with you, I didn't feel very comfortable being on camera. But by changing those internal feelings, by changing those submodalities visually, emotionally, and internally, feeling-wise, I was able to still show up and do what I needed to do to be where I am at today. And if this is something that you feel like you want to do, such as taking control of your life, then check out my first part, my second part, and third part, and start practicing this stuff for yourself. It's not going to be very easy in the beginning. You're going to have to practice this to get good at it. This is something new. It's kind of like a universal remote that you may have bought. You're going to have to learn how to use it. You're going to have to learn how to program it. And after you've done this for a while, it becomes a lot easier to manage the different things that come up in life. Because let's face it, life throws us curveballs. Things happen in our life that we didn't expect, and it can really affect how we show up going forward if we don't deal with those things. So I hope this helps you, and if anything, you keep doing what you're doing. Eventually you'll get there. Take care.